here we go. We've got Macy with us today. We're doing a short 1 mile loop. I found a staff at the tree. I'm in Southwest Virginia at Round Creek Meadows. It's in Mayberry, the little town that the Andy Griffith Show is written after. Some people think it's Mount Airy, but Mount Airy just kind of claimed that and made a tourist attraction out of that. But the reality is, this right here, these woods, these streams and creeks, this is actually Mayberry. So come along with me. Hopefully I don't fall on my face. Probably not a good idea to be working with a camera as I start going downhill, so I'm gonna get off here because I'm a newbie hiker. I have not done a ton of hiking, coming out of Lyme's disease and Macy, Mace, Rocky Mountain spotted fever in 2022, but I'm good to go. It's been 3 years and I'm just working back my muscle mass. So look at this, it's just starting to change. The foliage is beautiful. Kind of great you're coming along with me today on this little hike. You know, Spirit reminded me of something. A lot of people are like, gonna walk in the woods? What about bears? What about this or that? And Spirit has told me over the last couple of weeks that I have a ring of fire, a ring of protection around me now that I've hit a particular spiritual frequency. And what that means is that if the universe can protect me from a bunch of Satanists, then certainly the universe is going to protect me as I walk throughout the woods in nature. And the bear is my spirit animal, and I have a healthy fear of bears, trust me. I can be doing dishes and be looking at one on my porch. I live off the Blue Ridge Parkway. I am just a couple hundred feet off the parkway right now. So yeah, just no fear, right? It's overcoming our fears. It's living in the moment, doing the things that we like to do, focusing on ourselves. And there's nothing better than being one with nature, hiking in the woods, getting some exercise and overcoming some of our fears of the bears. Well, you might ask, what do you have for protection? 55-year-old woman, you're starting to hike in the woods. It's a scary time out there, right? A lot of nutso people right now, a lot of freaks of nature, a lot of deities, a lot of spiritual warfare. I'll tell you what I have. I have my 9mm, and I also have pepper spray, and I have a dog. So hopefully with those 3 things, yeah, that's going to be the least of my concerns. Let's go down the bottom of the mountain and see what's going on. So far it's just a sharp incline. Check this out. I'm getting down to the bottom here. It breaks through to this beautiful creek. A lot of ruts on here. I feel the pain in my knees more going downhill than I can up. Kind of sucks. But you know, we're getting old. We beat up, worn out motorcycles, horses, snowmobiles. But this makes it worth it going down the hill. Look at that. This is our first official hike together. She's a runner. You can see all the muscle on her. She's a red tick coonhound, and she's getting in the water, maybe. I didn't know how she'd do riding cars, though. She normally drools a lot, so I've put it off. Ah, look at you. Yeah, look at you. Is that cool? But she seems to be doing pretty good. She likes it. She'll probably be a great dog to hike with, and I'll tell you, she chases off the bears at my house all the time. Just take a look at her. Look at this. She loves it. All right, back up on the trail. I did not know that I could come here and get in the water and it would be this easy in the summertime to kind of do some cold plunges. I bet you there's a deep spot somewhere too. Here we go. sun is coming through the trees. You see the bridge? That's the Blue Ridge Parkway bridge right there that goes over Mayberry Creek. I'm laughing hysterically because I never thought I'd say this, but I think I need a selfie stick. Like those sticks, those changed the game, but I never wanted to be a person that took a ton of selfies. Like, I hate being on camera. I'm gonna do this hike maybe every day. It's so close to my house, and now that I know she rides with me without a problem, this might become a nice little routine for me. There's a 3-mile loop at Blue Ridge Music Center that's pretty close. But and you can do a 1.2 there. I'm working up to that by myself. That's a little farther out. At least I'm close to civilization here. Alright. See where the fuck my dog is. See that tree right there that's crossing the creek? It makes me think of Dirty Dancing. Hey, just a little bit longer. Right? Bomb diving in that water. He's trying to catch her on that fly. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. No, I won't sing for you anymore. So we did the loop. I hope this isn't too loud on my dog. People are probably gonna be like, shut the fuck up, man, and walk. Macy's back. That was all uphill. I'm out of breath. I'm gonna put the staff back. No one knows how much relevance the staff actually has spiritually. If you're curious, look into that. But alright, we're hopping in here. Gonna get back in the car and go home and drop some firewood. It's just getting prettier and prettier. This month is the best month to live up here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Everything goes through cycles of transformation, right? We go into the winter, we hibernate. It's kind of the time of death, only to come out better and more beautiful in the spring after a time of rest and rejuvenation. Our soul works in cycles like that too. Sometimes we're told to go hard and go big, and then sometimes we're told to isolate and take the time to rest, and it's all about listening to spirit. When to hold them, when to fold them, when to make a move. Instead of going blindly through life without any direction, once you tap into your higher self and you accomplish a certain level of spiritual ascension, you have all the answers. You don't need to second guess yourself. Look at how beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. As I chit-chat about spiritual stuff, this is where we just hiked. Here on the right, going over this little Mayberry bridge. I'm going to slow down a little bit and let these cars get ahead of me. So yeah, I've been in a period of isolation for about 4 years, between 2 meniscus tears, Lyme's disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever, late onset coming at me, 7,000 on the timer, it was all about a reset for me. I ended up in a wheelchair for 6 months, and over the last 3 years have worked back to the point where now I'm hiking, which is amazing. You know, Spirit told me, even when I was going through that I would make a full recovery. There was no promises to how long that would take. Nerve damage is pretty rough to repair, but it does over time, and it does when you raise your frequency. You are naturally healing yourself. Spending time in nature is naturally healing yourself. You know, the ancient Egyptians, they went inside the pyramids, and there was crystal chambers there, and they knew how to heal themselves and maintain a high frequency. Those chambers were also a place where they can connect easier to source to get downloads. A lot of spiritual people eventually elevate to the point where they visit the pyramids. They're called. Spirit wants them to connect their essence with that type of healing. I'd love to go there one day. So we have a nice little Mayberry store right there. Not catching it real good. Trying to keep it on the road. But I figured I'd take you for this little journey on my ride home. Just basically getting a bunch of footage and thinking someday I'm going to put this all together into a video and let people know what it's like to live on the Blue Ridge Parkway and what it's like to be part of the 144,000 frequency of chosen individuals. That doesn't make me special. It just means I was early on to raise my frequency to a level where God could use me as an example to help others raise their frequency and heal. We're not special, we're not different, we're just first. We're all on a staircase in our spiritual development and growth as souls. Even if you're doing dark stuff and you're in addictions and all that kind of stuff, that's still something your soul wants to experience right now. But it's all about growth. If you're not growing and you're stagnant, that's the first sign that you probably need to do something different. You need to make some different choices, have some different friends, quit doing some of the stuff that you were doing that's kind of keeping you in a low dense energy, and get yourself out into nature and doing things that raise your frequency. Nature does that. What music you listen to, what movies you watch, what are you putting into your mind? You know, I'm a crime junkie, you know, I'm a spiritually intuitive and psychological profiler of missing and murdered individuals. That's part of my spiritual gifts and my soul's mission. But there are times where I have to step away from that. I can't even be on my Facebook because my whole Facebook is nothing but all these missing people and all these cold cases, and it's like these souls just kind of call out to me, and they that's what they do. They want somebody who's spiritually intuitive to connect with them, because they're kind of in this respite realm, this in-between frequency, where if a soul has unfinished business, they stay there until they work it through. You know, you don't advance in any of the different realms or dimensions until you've done the work. So if you leave this realm and you're in chaos, and it's not that you won't have peace, but you're going to choose as a soul to continue to work through those things emotionally, and your soul goes through a healing process after you leave here. But inevitably, you have free will choice. You're going to serve the dark or the light. You know, you're going to serve yourself, or you're going to serve others in the greater calling. We're all one. We're not separate like the Matrix led us to believe. That is an overlay of the system of who we really are, and it was allowed to embed us into the darkness so we can experience more extreme duality. Because in duality, we learn lessons, we go through transformations. Can't have sweet without the salty, right? Can't have peanut butter without the jelly. You've got to have that contrast. But Spirit, the universe, God, Creator, whatever you want to call the source of power, that is the most extreme in our world, that was only for a certain period of time. And then it was going to wind back down, and the dark was going to lose power. It was going to go into like a time of 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven. And a lot of Christians believe that the rapture is leaving and then somehow coming back, because they know the Bible says that the kingdom of heaven is brought down on earth. So I question your beliefs. If you believe in the 1900s version of the rapture, that you're swept out of here in some event that saves you, that is a misinterpretation and an inversion of the truth that I've learned to know. You're not going anywhere. You don't leave to come back. Kingdom of heaven starts within you. It's an internal process of reconnecting with who you truly are, who you were truly meant to be, and not living in the matrix media anymore. That's what the Bible meant when it said you can be in the world, you can be of the world. Wait, you can be in the world but not of the world. So we're souls incarnated in the flesh, having a human experience in these meat suits. But when you identify with that physical world, you identify with those systems, those institutions, those requirements, those illegal contracts on a sovereign soul, when you identify with that, they've got you. You're in the matrix. You're Neo in that tube with that pink slime with all the things going in his back. You're plugged in, and you are functioning and feeding that system with your energy. Every day you get up and you go to a miserable job that you hate, you're feeding that system. You're saying, I'm too scared to leave that system. It's what I know, so I'm going to stay put. When you have a relationship where it's toxic and you're with a narcissist and your life is a constant battle of reactive abuse, emotional manipulation, and highs and lows, so much that you get whiplash for their emotional mood swings, because that's what they're all about. They're all about making you swing with them, because misery loves company. Try to drag you down. If you're in that type of relationship, you're choosing it. Every day you have the choice to do something different. Every day you can walk away from your situation. And if you say, I can't, this, that, ask God. Ask the guardian angels. Ask your ancestors to come in and move mountains on your behalf. And I'm telling you, when you call in your support as a spiritual, energetic being, and you say, I need help doing this, they're going to come knocking at your door. They're going to come and they're going to assist you, and they're going to make things happen, miracles. They're going to close doors and they're going to open doors, so you have a more direct path to how you get to that higher version of yourself, where you're no longer living in that toxicity. You're no longer allowing the people around you to feed off your energy, your love, your kindness, your compassion. Empaths, do you hear me? We are built that way, and it's a beautiful thing, but we have been living in a dark empath, and not the healthy way, but the unhealthy, imbalanced empath, where we think we have to give and find approval in others wanting us or liking us. We seek validation in something outside of ourselves, and that is incorrect. We will stay blocked if we continue with that mentality. You don't need validation from anybody or anything. You are one of God's chosen children. You are chosen to raise in frequency and go through a spiritual ascension on this planet at this time, because your energy, your frequency is helping change our planet into a higher conscious channeling burp, a higher conscious planet. And when each person raises into higher consciousness and they start holding that frequency, your families change, your intimate relationships change. You know, your job changes. You're always seeking the high road. So it's not just you that feels that change. Everybody around you feels that change. My family, immediate, has changed in leaps and bounds. A lot of relationships have been mellowed out, I guess. There's still issues, don't get me wrong. But they're manageable, and you don't let people's attitudes or emotional outbursts affect you the way you once did, so you can deal with that a lot better. But you know, choose you every day. Spirit says that if we choose ourselves, we choose the things we love, we choose the things that makes our heart sing, whether it's gardening or pets or hiking or reading, any of those things that we like to do. We are choosing our highest timeline, and we can never go wrong. You'll never go wrong choosing you. And when you do that, God says, okay, I know you've got a solid foundation and you can handle some abundance. So now it's time for some abundance. Let's start bringing in people, places, and situations that align with you, that is going to up-level you, that's going to uplift you, rather than the people that are going to drag you down. You have got to choose not to allow that to happen anymore. You've got to put up some boundaries, and you've got to nicely escort some people out of your life, because they no longer have the spiritual clearance to be part of your journey, because they have proven again and again and again that they are there to take, to destroy, and to devour, rather than to uplift and join you in co-creating something beautiful. So I hope you love this little chat, this little hiking trip today. Love you guys. Stay strong.